Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we are going to be looking at another very popular interview question. This one is asked very frequently at Google, and this one is basically logger rate limit. Okay, basically, the question itself states that we need to design a logger system that receives a stream of messages along with its timestamp. Now, each message should be printed if and only if it is not printed in last 10 seconds. So this is one thing to note here, that we only need to print something that's not printed in last 10 seconds. So timestamp is given to us, and um, we need actually to find the difference of the timestamp, the message earlier appeared versus message that we have just received. That means this clearly indicates that we need some sort of caching. We need to cache our messages basically that we have received in past, so we can compare the timestamps between those. Now there is another point that it actually gives. Let's say if you received a message at timestamp 1, then you received another message at timestamp 11. Now the next message was received after 10 seconds. So for the third time when the message is received, let's say at 13, then it should not be compared with 1, but it should be compared with 10 timestamp, because last time the message was received, it was at 10 timestamp. Okay, so that's actually important to remember. Like, this is what it says. So each message should be printed only if it's not been printed in last 10 seconds. All right, so one thing to keep in mind: given a message, then the question reads on: given a message and timestamp in second, um, and basically this is a timestamp, so that means it's in increasing order. So first value you're gonna receive is gonna be lower than the next value, which is gonna be higher because it's in increasing order time. uh, we should return true if the message should be printed in a given timestamp. Otherwise we should return false. So what that means is basically, if we can print, if the message has appeared after 10 seconds and we can print, so like, that's the validity, then we should return true. If the message has received before then, like, the value of previous message that was received and current message that is received is less than 10, then we should simply return false. Okay, and it says, like, it is possible that several messages arrive roughly at the same time. Okay, so that is another thing. So we should keep in mind that, like, there are a lot of messages that are gonna arrive at the same time, so we should be checking and filtering out and only print if the message has appeared after 10 seconds. The difference is at least 10 seconds or greater. Okay, 10 or greater. All right, let's take a look at some examples. So the way we can actually create is going to be, there's going to be a class logger. Okay, and then logger is going to have a function should print message that will take an integer and a string message, and this time it's returning true because at this point logger does not have any messages, so it's going to return true. That means we should print it because this is unique. Then logger dot should print to bar. It should return true too because this message has not appeared earlier. Then you have foo that is appearing again after at timestamp 3. So now this is where we're gonna check between foo, the previous timestamp. So right now it's 3 and previous was 2. 3 minus 1 is 2, so we're gonna return false because this is not equal or greater than 10. Okay, and then you have bar. Now bar is 8, and we have already cached value at 2, so 8 minus 2 is 6, so we're gonna return false here in that case. Right, Then it comes foo again with timestamp 10. Okay, and 10 and previously cached value is 1, so 10 minus 1 is 9, so still not there, so we're gonna return false. And here we are receiving now timestamp as 11, and now 11 minus 1 is going to be 10. Okay, and after this instance the new cached value for foo is going to be 11. So until the next message appears at least at 21 timestamp or greater, um, yeah, so 21 timestamp or greater, we're not going to be printing that. All right, so hopefully the question is clear. Okay, and this question has been asked at Google, like, in last 6 months for at least 15 times, at Amazon, Apple, Atlassian, and Microsoft. So pretty popular question actually. And if you look at its history, within 6 months and 1 to 2 years not available. So within 6 months, Uber and Bloomberg. So that means, like, if you go around 1 year, pretty much most of the FANG companies are asking about this question. All right, so let's go ahead and go about and see how we can solve it. Okay, so um, we're gonna try to whiteboard this. Okay, um, first of all, we know that let's visualize it. So what we're gonna have is basically a all right. So what we're gonna have basically is, for example, let's say a dictionary, right? Now this dictionary is going to hold values for the messages that we have received. All right. So let me move this on the side so we can see the messages. Okay. So first, foo arrives. So we're gonna say foo arrived, and we're gonna store its timestamp, right? Next, bar arrives. You're gonna store its timestamp. Okay, and after that, foo arrives again. We say foo's value at the timestamp is 3. The stored value is 1, so we're gonna say 3 minus 1. This is 2, so return false. Okay, and so we're gonna basically continue this forward until we actually get, for example, 11 here. So foo's value is 11, right? And 11 minus 1 is 10. We return true here, and we take this value and update it for the foo. Okay, and so foo is now 11. So next time when the timestamp comes, let's say 12, then it's going to be 12 minus 11. It's not going to be 12 minus 1. Okay, so hopefully that is clear. I just wanted to make it like crystal clear. The other thing we noticed from the question is we need some sort of dictionary. Okay, so dictionary to store and cache these values. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and design our class. So we're gonna have logger class, and we're gonna have some sort of map that is going to be of type string, because we are basing our decisions on string value. So string is the key that we're gonna look for. Okay, and we're gonna say for the function, it's called a should print message. Okay, it's gonna take timestamp, and sorry, and message of type string. Okay, so it's going to take these two values, right? Message and string. Okay, so we're gonna say if let, right? We're gonna basically get the value out from our dictionary or our map, and we're gonna say map find the message. Okay, if we can find the message, all right, create another variable. So we're gonna say return value, for example, and this return value is going to store the time difference, the timestamp difference. So we're gonna say time minus val. Okay, so now we can say if return val is greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10, right? If it is greater than or equal to 12, then first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna update our map with new time. Okay, and we want to return true here. Okay, if that's not the case, return false. Return false. Okay, so that's going to be our if condition when we actually reach at this condition. Basically we found a value. Now if we did not find a value, we simply have to store that value with the timestamp. Okay, and we are going to return true here. Okay, now let's go ahead and test this. So we got, so let's say our map does not have anything. Okay, we got 1 and foo. Okay, so our map is, so let's create our map somewhere. So I'm gonna create one here. Okay, so our map is empty. We're gonna insert 1 for foo. Okay, and we're gonna return true here because this condition is not going to be satisfied. Here we're gonna insert and return true. Okay, now we get bar. Okay, so we're gonna skip this and gonna go straight into this here and gonna store timestamp for bar and gonna return true. Okay, next comes 3 and foo. Okay, now we're gonna go into this. Okay, so we're gonna say all right, we had the value 3 minus 1 is 2, so return value is not greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10, so we're going to return false right here. This line is going to execute. Okay, next comes 11 for foo, for example. So we're going to say 11 minus the stored value for foo is 1, so we're going to take 1, that's equal to 10. Okay, so that actually goes inside and the map value is changed into 11 first of all, and we return true here. Okay, so it seems that it's actually this function should work okay, the way we are expecting it to. So let's go ahead and type it into Xcode and see if it actually works or not. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up the Xcode. All right, so here's our Xcode, and I already have created a class, a logger, and I have actually listed out everything, all the test cases that we've been given basically to contest, to make sure our program actually works the way it's supposed to. Okay, so we're gonna create a private map. It's gonna be of type string and int, like we did in the algorithm, and we're gonna create this function right here. So I'm gonna copy the name. This function takes two parameters, right? Um, these two. So let me copy timestamp and timestamp, which is of int type, and message, which is of string type. Okay, and it returns a boolean. All right. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do once again is get the value out of map if there is any. So we can simply say map, look for message, and if you are able to find message, first check the difference. So we're gonna call this diff now, and we're gonna say diff between the time stamp minus val. Okay, and if the difference is greater than equal to 10, right, then update the map first with timestamp and return true, otherwise return false. Okay, so this is basically going to make sure that if we found a value whose difference was less than 10, then we should return false. Otherwise, if we reach at this point, we can simply insert the timestamp and return true. Okay, so that's it. That's all the program. So let's go ahead and run this and see how it does against these test cases. So let's go ahead and take a look at them one by one. Okay, so we got timestamp as 1, foo for foo. Okay, so we said, okay, foo timestamp is 1, difference is I mean, it's not gonna go in there, so it's gonna simply insert that value and return true. Okay, for bar it's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna go directly here, insert the value and return true. Now comes false because we are inserting 3. Okay, so we are inserting 3 for foo, and we found foo, but foo's that's value that's restored is 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. This is not 2 is not greater than equal to 10, so we're going to return false. Next comes 8, okay, for bar, and we found bar, but bar had value 2, so the difference came 6, so basically it didn't go inside and returned false. All right, and then came 10, basically for foo, so we're gonna say difference was 9, it's not greater than equal to 10. All right, so let's return false. Okay, next comes 11, which is returning true because 11 is basically 11 minus 1, which is previously stored value for foo, so the difference becomes 10. Now this is greater than equal to 10. Okay, so we update our dictionary saying the new timestamp that we're going to consider now is going to be the timestamp, which is 11, and return true in this case. Okay, so yeah, so that's it for this interview question and this video basically. Hopefully you enjoyed. Now if you were wondering about the time complexity, so if you take a look, the operations are pretty uh, like consistent, like it's most of the things are happening at the constant time except this lookup. But because we are using dictionary, and dictionary is hash map, which has the retrieval order of one, search order of one, because of the hashed values. So in this for this algorithm, the time complexity is going to be order of one, because everything else is pretty static, like it's going to happen at the same um, um, basically rate. Okay, it's not going to go up or down depending upon number of messages we are receiving or anything like that, so it's pretty constant. So the order is going to be order of one for the time complexity. Okay. Alright, so hopefully you like the video, and thanks again for watching. I will see you guys in next video.